My name is Diana Thorson and I have type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease that affects millions of people's lives all over the world, including my own. I was diagnosed when I was almost 13 on August 23rd, 2003. Before that, I was rapidly losing weight. I was eating as much as 3 teenage boys, and I couldn't seem to get enough water. And at first my family didn't think much about it because I was really short, so we thought I was going through a much needed growth spurt. And of course I was drinking tons of water. It was Mesa, Arizona in the summertime. As I started losing more weight, my mom started getting phone calls from people asking if I was anorexic or bulimic. She assured them I wasn't, but she was starting to wonder if I had a thyroid problem, which is something that runs in her family. So she picked me up from the welcome to 7th grade pool party where I had tons of candy and pizza, and we went to the emergency room. We waited a few hours and they finally saw me at about 1 in the morning, and they did a blood test. They immediately returned and hooked me up to an IV and got me insulin and told me I was diabetic. The normal range for blood glucose is about 70 to 110 milligrams per deciliter, and mine was over 700. So I was really lucky I didn't go into a diabetic coma. When they first told me I had diabetes, my first thought was, what on earth is that? I don't think I'd ever even heard that word before. And I don't remember much else about that night. I mean, not a lot of detail at least. I remember crying a lot. I remember getting to ride in an ambulance to the children's hospital. And I remember not getting much sleep. I kept on waking up and reliving what had just happened, and which was followed by more crying. And at least my mom was there every minute, and that was really helpful. When I was in the hospital, I weighed about 75 pounds, which was pretty scary. They kept me there for about 3 days, and then I spent a couple days at home trying to adjust to everything. And then I went back to school, and my life has never been the same. Every day I have to prick my finger to test my blood sugar levels about 6 times a day on average, and I have to change out my insulin pump sets every 3 days to make sure that the insulin is still good and to make sure I don't develop scar tissue where the injection site is. It's really difficult to try to keep my blood sugars within such a tight range every single day, and when there's so many different factors. And although it's hard, I can do it, especially with the support of my friends and family, and of course the strength that God gives me. And technology is also really important. Without the modern advances of today, I wouldn't have lived. I mean, back then they didn't have much of a choice. They didn't have insulin, they didn't have insulin pumps and stuff like that. And those things definitely make it a lot easier to control my blood sugars and to keep everything in check. And it helps me to live a normal life. But none of those things would be possible without the research and, of course, the funding for that research. And so my family and I participate in the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, or the JDRF Walk to Cure Diabetes in Tempe. And that walk and many others all over the nation help raise the money to make my life easier and to find a cure for the future.